Or here. So yeah, welcome to LYT, everybody. Good morning. My name's Caitlin. Happy Saturday. So excited you're all here. We're going to focus on, like I said, the scapula in our flow today. It's going to feel such, wonderful relief to have shoulders that move optimally, strong and well, in all of our different movements. Not just what we practice here on the mat, but how we practice it off the mat too. So that's one of the beautiful things about LYT is we're building really awesome movement habits to take with us in everyday life activities. You'll find lots of variations of poses that will fit right for you and how you feel today. Again, if you have a block with you, I recommend it, especially during our first phase called the reset. So yeah, I think we're ready. Playlist link is in the chat, so you can have that going as some nice background music for yourself today during your practice. And yeah, let's go. Let's have some fun and get lit. So we're gonna start lying on our backs this morning. I'm gonna come back towards my mat here, and we're gonna use the block. You can place it on the highest setting like this, or more flat. Sometimes I like to do this if I'm feeling a little tight in between my scapula. And what we're gonna do is just help wake up that fascia, get it nice and mobile and going for today's practice. So place your block on your mat. Again, highest setting or flat, up to you. Lie back down and you'll feel the bottom tips of the scapula resting at the bottom of the block, and you'll feel your neck kind of come off of the block just a little bit. You can take your arms wide, and we're just gonna give it a little scrub. If you think of like a grizzly bear rubbing up against a tree, it's the best way I can describe it. But you're just waking up some fascia that's in between your scapula. And fascia is that connective supportive tissue that we have throughout our bodies. Take a nice breath in, breathe out. Feels good. Just waking up upper back and behind the shoulders. Very good. And then you can take your block out from under you, and we're going to place it in between our legs for our core abdominals round to begin. Bring your head to the floor and take your hands, interlace them like this behind your head, placing them at the bottom of your skull, right at the bottom of the hairline. We're going to begin just with a simple series of abdominals to connect to the core. Inhale and exhale, lift. Feel the shoulder blades lift off your mat, tailbone drawn toward the floor. And then release. Let's take one more. Inhale, exhale and lift. Feel the ribs slide toward the hips and elbows in, and release. Now we're going to add to our core abdominals. So you can lift your legs up over your hips so they're vertical. Keep the core braced, drawn in, and we're going to inhale, exhale, lift. Lift your left arm up high over your shoulder vertically. Now it's in protraction, the scapula. And then bend the elbow, and then bring the elbow towards the floor. Bring hand back to head and lower. Let's try the other side. Inhale, then exhale, lift. Feel the shoulder blades up. Right arm high this time. Bend the elbow. Now bring the elbow towards the floor, drawing the scapula into neutral. And then lift, hand behind head, and release. Inhale, exhale, lift. Left arm high. Bend elbow, elbow toward mat. Keep it in close to you. Reset and fold. Inhale, then exhale, lift. Same on the other side. Really just feeling the motion of the scapula. Inhale, then exhale, lift, arm up, bend elbow, then draw it towards the floor. Feel the scapula come in towards midline. Last one. arm up, elbow bend. Hands ahead and release. Very good. Let's come into a supine twist. So you're going to take your block and keep it level with your left hip. The right knee is going to rest on top of the block. Bring right hand to left arm and then open up to the side. We're just going to feel a good release for the chest wall, front of the body, but then also notice the scapula drawing together and toward the top rib. Breathe in and breathe out. Great release also feeding into the back and the hips. Everything's connected. So even though we focus on scapula, let's take the block to the other side. Block level to left hip. Again, feel the scapula drawing in towards each other. You might feel that release extend all the way down into the trunk and hips. Good. Let's bring our feet in together, block in between the legs. We're going to come into a bridge sequence here. And it's going to help wake up the back of the body, and you'll feel it translate all the way up into your scapula. So really important pose that we do in every lit flow. So you can place your heels either under the knees or just ahead. We want to feel the focus into the glutes for this bridge today. So squeeze the glutes, you've got the block in between your legs, and then pressing through the feet, squeeze the glutes, lift from the lower back, up through the cervical spine, that's towards your neck, so low, mid, upper back. And then take your left arm, you're gonna bring it up and over. Same with the right arm, and just feeling the scapula now in protraction like we did before. In protraction, it kind of feels like your scapula are sliding off the ribs. And while we're here, let's take a good wrist stretch too. So take your right hand and place the right thumb under the hand and gently draw the fingers back. In this flow today, we're going to be doing a lot of weight bearing through our hands. So we want to warm up the wrist. And let's find the other side. So this wrist release is great because we'll have the wrist in flexion. And also good release too, because we're typing all day, holding our phones. So it's a good release for the wrist. You can bring your hands by your side, palms high, and gently lift the heels, pressing through the big toe mound. And you'll feel that translate from the floor at your feet all the way up the back line. Even into the scapula. Good, let's lower down slowly. Now take the block, adjust it this time, and make it wide. And you're gonna place it at the knee joint. So your knees are gonna feel a little bit more open here as we come into our rotational abdominals. So hands behind head, lace the fingers together to begin. Inhale, exhale, lift. And just take a small rotation to your left knee. Right elbow towards left knee, in and down. Inhale, exhale, lift. Take a twist. Center and down. Inhale, then exhale, lift. Another twist. So we're drawing in to the obliques, that webbing of the abdominals. Inhale, exhale, lift, squeezing the block together as well. That's going to help integrate the obliques and that webbing even more. Inhale, exhale, lift, twist, keep the bottom shoulder blade lifted. Last one on the other side. Inhale, then exhale up, twist, in and down. Very good. Release the block. We're coming into quadruped. So that means all fours. So coming onto all fours, we have wrists under our shoulders, knees under our hips. And again, we're just going to connect to the scapula here, bracing the belly. And what we're going to do is a series of serratus puffs. So what you're going to do is take the scapula, feel them go into protraction, and then back in towards the midline. You want to keep the elbows still. This is all coming from your scapula. Be mindful of the core, keeping it engaged. And it's a small, subtle movement, the serratus puff, but really powerful to mobilize the scapula, get it moving well. The serratus is a muscle from the scapula, and it connects along the ribs. Good. One more. Excellent. Let's come into our dolphin pose. So you can place your forearms on the floor, palms down, or lace your hands together. Toes are curled under. We lift the hips vertically, knees bent. Take your left hand, place it on the sacrum. So now we're really stabilizing through just one shoulder here. Keep the belly in, rib cage in as well. Let's find the other side. Reset, and then lift the right hand, placing it on the sacrum, that's your low back. And now you'll feel the left side really activate here. We want to be strong through the upper body so we don't sink into the shoulders. Good. Come into downward facing dog. So your forearms are down and now they're going to lift. Press your hands through the floor. You can walk the feet in additionally if you need to, but knees are bent and hips are vertical. You're going to feel that vertical lift of the hips. And now we're just going to really focus on pressing through the hands, activating from the ground up our scapula. Breathe in, breathe out. It's a great release for the back too. Opening up back fascia. Exhale. So we're here for a little bit this morning. Keep the belly drawn in. And same for the ribs. The ribs is kind of that outer edge of the cylinder of your core. You want to keep it central, neutral, and aligned with the shoulders and the pelvis. Inhale. Exhale. Neck is in neutral too. Just setting up a really good down dog for the rest of the flow to come. Let's walk the feet in, beginning our first sun salutation series. Bend the knees, lift up, arms up and forward, Tadasana. We want to aim for Tadasana in every pose we do throughout class. Breathe in, then exhale, tip from the hip, hinge the hips back, knees bent, forward fold. Step your right foot back into low lunge, toes unfolded, flat on the mat. Squeeze the glutes, arms are by your sides, rolling the shoulders and letting the scapula lead the way. Bring your hands to the floor, wrists under the shoulders, Stepping back into a strong plank core brace. Exhale, lower, knees down towards the floor. Inhale to cobra, head of the humerus lifted, pulling back through the hands. Toes curl under. From your plank, push up into down dog. Step the right foot forward this time. Left knee is down. Shoulders. Here in our low lunge. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Really feel the weight bear through the hands as you step into forward fold. Inhale, come to Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, ribs meet thighs. Left foot steps back this time. Toes curl under. Feel the shoulder roll, 1 or 2 on each side here. Bring your hands to the floor, find plank, stepping back, long spine. Knees lower, lower slow. Inhale, cobra. Shoulder blades tuck down the spine. Toes curl under, bracing the core through plank. Lift to down dog. Step the left foot forward this time. Low lunge, right knee is down. Toes are not. Shoulder roll. Really feel the whole complex of the shoulder moving here this morning. Place hands to floor, step in, forward fold. This round we have something new with our sun sal. Forward fold, step back, right foot, toes curled under, right glute is on. You've got your block handy, bring it behind you. Elbows point back, and it's almost like you want to try and pull the block apart. We get a good stretch for the chest wall. Nice. Block the floor, we'll use it later on. Step back into plank. Exhale as you lower, core is still braced strong. Inhale, pull back through the hands. We'll feel more into the back. Toes curl under, down dog, exhale. Stepping right foot forward, have your block ready for low lunge, pulling apart the block. Just feel that openness. And the shoulder blades drawing in and down. Block to floor. One more go. Inhale, lift up. Sit from the hips. Left foot will step back again this time. Find your block. It's one of my favorite stretches to do with a block. Point the elbows back. We've got some internal rotation of the shoulder happening. Bring hands to floor. Stepping back. Plank. Cobra. Squeeze butt. Always a must in cobra. Toes curl under. We find down dog. Step the left foot forward this time. Knees down. Block. Hands to floor. Step in. Pause at Tadasana. Well done, everybody. Let's begin our first sequence. So we're gonna, again, tip from the hip, finding forward fold. Step your right foot back. We're in a fingertip lunge. The fingertips graze the mat. Right leg is drawn up, squeezing the back glute, and chest is lifted. Similarly to the core abdominals, we're gonna move the scapula and lift the fingers. So feel the scapula draw inwards, retract. Last one. Let's find low lunge. So we're gonna bring the right knee under the hip, toes curled under, squeezing the right glute. Bring your arms into goal post so they're at 90 degrees and alternating side to side. We go with elbows drawing in toward the body, but the shoulder blades are going through retraction and depression as they come into the midline. Good. Bring your hands to the floor. One-legged glute or one-legged plank with the glute on the left leg. That's it. Good. Now we're going to go for a march. Switching side to side. Squeezing the glutes. Alternative, knees down and lift. Still getting great core engagement. And the scapula, regardless of your variation, are in a strong neutral position on the top rib. Last one. Lower to the floor, we come into locust pose. Taking our hands onto our glutes, revisiting that internal rotation of the shoulder. Squeezing the glutes, and you can lift up slightly. Good. So by having our hands on our glutes, we're reminding them to stay engaged in back extensions like this. Very good. Bring your hands under your shoulders, toes curl under. From your plank, we find downward facing dog. We call this turbo dog. So we're gonna bend the knees, and then we're gonna bend the elbows about half to quarter range and drawing them inward. This will really light up the upper body. Sometimes we call it shaky dog too, because your arms will shake. And you want to feel your elbows drawing in together, like each one is a magnet. Good. Very nice, everybody. Let's step in, forward fold. Repeat the sequence other side. Inhale, lift. Good reach into Tadasana. Let's find forward fold. Ribs meet thighs. Left foot will step back this time. Knee is lifted. Fingertip lunge. Again, all about the scapula. That is what is lifting the fingertips. Last one, finding your low lunge. Left knee down, left glute on. Elbows lifted, one at a time. Draw the elbow in and feel the scapula in a downward rotation toward the midline. Such a great mobilizer to do for our scapula. Last one, hands under shoulders, ready to go for one-legged plank, right leg lifted this time. Squeeze the glutes. Little march, just like before. Two more. Last one. Lower the knees down, come into locust. Hands on the glute, like you're trying to stick them in your back pockets. Elbows in, squeeze butt, shoulder blades, resting on the top ribs. Chin is tucked in. Good. Hands under shoulders. Come to plank. Lift up into down dog. Turbo dog again. Elbows inward, slightly bent at quarter range or half. But we also want to engage the hands. Press through the hands. Feel the weight bearing in your hands. We don't do this enough, weight bearing through our hands. That's what's so awesome about this flow. Very good. Good. Walk the feet in, finding Tadasana. Excellent. Let's come into our Sun Sal A. So we're going to bend the knees, coming into forward fold. You can step or hop back to your plank. I'm going to step for round one. Draw the knees down to the floor, coming into our cobra. Lower slow. Squeeze butt, pull back through the hands. That's what helps you lift the chest. Coming into our downward facing dog. Very good. Step into forward fold. Knees bent. Then we lift up and we find Tadasana. Let's go again. Inhale, exhale, tip. Hands right under shoulders. Step or hop into plank. Before you lower, pause. Knees down, then lower. Inhale, sweep up. Curl toes under. Exhale, push back into down dog. Option to hop in, finding your forward fold, belly, core embrace. Reach up, We go again. Feel how the hands are rooted to the floor, regardless if you step or hop. We set the hands up from the very beginning, lower to cobra. Shoulder blades resting on top rib. Push through hands, plank. Lift hips vertically, down dog. Step in. Even if I step in, I've got weight bearing through the hands. Take it again. Tip from the hip. Stepping back, knees lower. Going for that control. That's what the triceps are doing. Sweep up. Curl toes under. Lift the hips. And we step in. And that rounds out, suns out A. Beautiful. Let's find down dog again. So hands under shoulders. We're coming into down dog shrugs. So subtle movement of the scapula. When our arms are overhead, we do want that slight lift of the scapula. Just a couple here. Good. Step your left foot forward. Hands stay down as you step. We're in our crescent lunge. Rise up, squeeze the glutes, and bring the hands to the heads of the humerus. And we're just gonna roll the shoulders one at a time. And really feel the scapula. That's what the hands are doing. They're giving you some feedback. We've got each glute squeezed. Really strong position here. Good. Take your left hand, bring it to your sacrum. Right arm will lift up vertically. And then option to add in a lateral flex. The little side bend here. Good. Get a nice release through the ribs and side body. Good. Bring your hands to the floor. We're gonna step in. Got our arm up high on the left side. And we're gonna step in, back foot. Draw it in and back. So you can think of your hands here as a second foot or another foot, third foot. Draw the knee in, step it back. Good, last one. Bring the right knee to the floor, modified side plank. So the left leg is gonna go back, hips are stacked, and we've got right arm centrated into the glenohumeral joint. Bring your arm overhead. And then we're gonna abduct or lift the left leg. Good. And then you can bring the hand onto your shoulder to ensure that everything is centrated and feeling strong. Good. One more. Let's come onto all fours. Revisiting serratus puffs like we did in the beginning. Subtle movement of the scapula. Protraction to reset. Press palms to the floor. If you'd like a little bit more, curl your toes under and lift your knees an inch off. Woo! That kicks in mighty fast. Last one. Step one foot back, then the other into plank. Bring the knees down, lower into cobra, or lower into locust. Goal post arms. You can bring your forehead to the floor. Squeeze the glutes. Good. Let's find down dog. Take your shrugs again. Bend the knees, keep them drawn in. Little downward dog shrugs here. Last one. Step the right foot forward this time. We have our crescent lunge. Hands onto the heads of the humerus. Shoulder roll. Big breath in. Full breath out. Good. Take your right hand onto your sacrum, low back, reaching Arm up and over, lateral side bend on the left side. Good. Let's bring the left hand to the floor. Coming into our steps. Step the foot in, step it back out. Good. Last one. Draw left knee to floor, right leg will slide back. We open up into modified side plank. If you have to adjust, make sure that knee is under hip. You can do that here. Place your right hand onto your left shoulder and then start your hip lift. Big breath in, full breath out. Good. Let's come back into quadruped. Knees down or knees an inch off the floor for our serratus puff. Keeping the elbows still. Core in and braced. That keeps the spine in a good neutral position. Let's step back, finding our plank. Knees can shift back, lower down, finding locust. Option this round, you can lift here. Feel the shoulder blades tuck down onto the ribs. Squeezing the glutes as always. Bring your hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Excellent, let's step to the top of the mat. Bring the arms up and forward, sinking into chair pose or Utkatasana. Hips sink back, belly in embrace, spine is long. Exhale, forward fold, ribs meet the thighs. Stepping back into our plank. Core braced, lower to the floor, the knees, then lower slow to cobra. Pull back through the hands. Come into down dog. Step your left foot forward into warrior one. Right heel can be down, or if it's more comfortable, stay in crescent lunge. Bring the arms up high. And we're gonna do the same thing kind of with our goalposts, but this time, arms are overhead. And we're elevating the scapula now. Small, subtle movement here. One more for each. Coming back into plank. Lower down slow, knees to floor, cobra, belly braced. Lift the chest. Lift the hips. Down dog, warrior one, other side, right foot forward. Back heel can be down. Make sure the glutes are squeezed. Arms raised forward and up. And then same idea. Elevate the scapula. Just let the scapula lead the way. Bring your hands to the floor. Stepping back into your plank. Knees down, lower to floor cobra. Sweep up. Down dog. Step into forward fold. Reach up. Utkatasana. Begin again. Forward fold. Option to step or hop. Plank. Pause before you lower. Knees down. Sweep up. Cobra. Curl toes under. Press up. Lift the hips. Step the left foot forward. Warrior one. Back heel is down or slightly lifted, your choice. Elevation of the scapula. Small, subtle movement here, but really powerful to awaken the scapula. One more of each. Hands to floor. Finding plank, hands anchored. Then cobra. Lower slow. Then lift. Down dog. Warrior two, warrior one, excuse me. Right foot forward. Press to the feet, rise strong. Squeezing the glutes. Practice elevation. Good. Bring hands to floor, finding your plank. Bring the knees down, lower towards the floor. Sweeping up to cobra, squeeze the glutes. Glutes always on. Press up. Downward facing dog, walk in. Arms come up and forward. Very good. Coming into down dog again. Hands to floor, anchored and ready to go as you step back. Let's step our left foot forward. We find warrior one again. Back foot down. Good. This time, lace your hands behind you. Keep it gentle, so you want to have some space in between your hands. Squeeze your glutes. Hinge from the hip, coming to devotional warrior. So we're just tipping from the hips. Chest is lifted as the ribs meet the thigh. Step in and press airplane. Arms back, and they can unlace. Good. Let's land right foot down. We're going to face away for a second for goddess pose. So we're just going to milk the shoulder blades here to really get a good release, kind of like we did in the beginning of class. If you'd like, place the hands on head of the humerus. Add a little shoulder release. Always feels so good. Good. Bring your hands to the floor. Straddle forward fold. Parallel the toes. Knees bent. Now we have more freedom here in a straddle forward fold, cat-cow. The same idea, shoulder blades moving into protraction and then reset. Let's come to the front of the mat. We're gonna find dolphin. So you can bring hands together or palms down and forearms down in your dolphin. Hips vertical, core brace. Then we walk the feet back and bring it forward slightly into forearm plank. Good. Coming into right forearm plank on the side. Hips are lifted, can stack the feet and lift the arm. Woo, I feel this one in the obliques already. Let's come back to forearm plank. Core brace, knees down, lower to locust, squeeze the butt, and then lift. Arms can go back. Good. Bring hands under shoulders. Rise to plank, down dog. Lifting our right leg high. Three-legged down dog. And you're gonna sweep it through and go right into warrior one, other side. Hands together and laced, glute is squeezed. Kick from the hip, devotional warrior. You're gonna feel ribs and thigh meet, but the chest is up. Step in slightly, press to fly into your airplane. Good, you can unlace your hands. And now we're gonna open up to the side of the mat, goddess. Sink into the squat, same idea, shoulder blades, little shrugs. We feel good here. Awakening. Upper traps into the neck too. And take some shoulder rolls. Good. Come into dolphin at the top of the mat. Hands together for a little more leverage, or palms down. Feel how the rib cage is neutral with the pelvic and shoulder girdles. Feet come back, forearm plank. One of my favorite movements to do. Let's come into side forearm plank. So we're gently gonna roll open all together, all at once. Option to bring the knee down. And same thing as you return into your forearm plank. Lower to the floor, locust. Can lift arms up and back, shoulder blades resting on the top ribs. They're ready to go. Bring hands under shoulders. Rise up into downward facing dog. Three-legged dog, left side. And then bring it in. Bring knees to floor. Child's pose. This time, in our child's pose, a little different than traditional child's. Pinkies resting on the floor. Lift the forearms and elbows up, and we'll get a nice release into the lats, much needed. Very good. All right, let's bring it all together. Here we go. So exciting. Let's come into down dog, step, left foot forwards. We've got our fingertip lunges, but we're gonna add a little bit. We've gotten really acquainted with the scapula. Now, bring the elbows in like a row, but the scapula leads the way. Two more like this. Last one at the top, hold. Kick the arms back like a tricep kickback. If you're a body pumper, you'll know this move. We do this one a lot. Last one, pause. Really feel the triceps light up. Good. Bring your right knee to the floor, low lunge. Got left hand on sacrum, right arm is high. Good. We're gonna face away from each other briefly as we come into side lunges. So come to the side of your mat, side to side shift. Main idea, hips flex and push back, loading the glutes. Chest is up, and we keep it long through the shoulder and pelvic girdle. Now come to the back of your mat, something new, brand new perspective. We've got one-legged plank with our walk. Remember we did these before? But they feel new because we're doing them at the back of the mat. Option, knees down. Remember, you can always bring this one to the knee. Good. Lower to the floor, finding locust, or take the hands to the ins or outs of the feet for bow. Glutes are squeezed, feeling the openness of the chest. Looking good, everybody. Release. Coming into a three-legged down dog. Lifting our right leg high. Squeeze the glute. Good. Coming into our aeroplane. So we're going to step right foot forward and take off. Land, and we're going to windmill back to the front of the mat, back to where we started. And we're in lunge. Let's lower down, right knee down, coming into side plank. Reaching arm up and over. And then we're going to step from our lunge, bring left leg forward, right knee up, whoop, and stand. We got a lot happening here. And then bring it back down, right hand to floor, knee down, side plank, arm reach. Bring it through again, left foot plants, right knee up and lift, left arm high. Repeat again, right hand down, right knee down, left leg back, and reach, sweep it through, step, press up, rise strong. Really fun pose. Let's come into floating half moon. Option, reaching hand toward the floor, or if you have your block, you can use a block, highest setting. Good. Let's find warrior two. Step your right foot back, it's gonna land. Straighten the right leg, right knee, or left knee is bent. Arms into goal post on the right side. Left arm is long. You're gonna pull the elbow towards your hip, reach up and over. Warrior two variation. Left forearm to thigh, right arm up and over. Repeat again. Reverse. Bring it in and reach up. Last one. Good. Nice work, everybody. Let's coming into our funky dolphin. So we're going to step back. Hands to floor or lace together. You want to just hold dolphin. If you're going funky, take your left hand out to the side, parallel with your right elbow. Then lift your left leg. Lots of stability going on here. Great stuff. Good. Come into forearm plank. Shift forward. Good. Finding downward facing dog. Lift the hips up. Let's repeat on the other side. So we're gonna step our right foot forward. We got our fingertip lunge. Fingertips graze the floor. Keep the core engaged, so lift the chest. Now pull the elbows back. Take it to a row. And feel how it's the scapula drawing in towards the middle of your spine. Good. Kick the arms back. Here for a few reps. Scapula locked in, nice and neutral, hold. Bring the left knee down to the floor. We're gonna lift our left arm high. We've got right hand to sacrum. Let's do our side lunges. So set up to the side of your mat. We've got side to side. Just feel that good release. And then the scapula, they're nice and neutral. Centralizing the energy into the core. Good. Let's come back, finding one-legged plank. Back of the mat, left leg will lift first. Go for a walk. Option, knees down. Core brace. Very good, everybody. How are we feeling? We feeling good? Let's lower down. Locust or bow. So if you're coming to locust, arms back. If you're coming to bow, you can take hands in or out of feet. Let's squeeze the glutes for each pose regardless. Very good. Find down dog. Lifting left leg this time, three-legged down dog. Good. Shifting, left foot forward. Let's come to aeroplane. Press off, slide. You want to push the hip back to load the glute. Good. Let's windmill to the front of the mat. Coming into our lunge and side plank series. So bring left knee to floor. Right foot slides back, side plank. Draw in the knee, and then left knee will lift. We did this before, just a repeat on the other side. Side plank, reach up. Last one. Good. Let's come into floating half moon. Take your block, open up. That's it. Warrior two. Goal post, left arm this time, right arm forward. Sweeping back for reverse, ribs lifted and open on the front. Extended two, a warrior variation. Keep the glute squeezed as you move here. You want to have everything really central through the core and neutral. Good. One more here to the front. Good. Let's come to the floor, funky dolphin. So you can stay in dolphin, or you can try right side for funky. Right hand parallel with the left elbow. Then lift right leg. Doesn't have to be super high, but we will feel this. Very good. Bring the foot to the floor. Shift into your plank. And then bring the knees to the floor. Resting into child's pose. Woo, that feels so good, right? Good. You can bring your pinkies to the floor. Lift. That's an option for your child's pose. Or alternatively, elbows down but hands up, laced behind your head. Another way to bring more into your lats. Inhale. And exhale. Full breath in and full breath out. Very good. Let's take a moment here. We've made it to our Shavasana. So you can stay, if you'd like, in child's pose. You can lie on your back. You can draw down towards the floor. You can keep your feet bent, or your knees bent, feet on the floor, arms wide to the side. Maybe you'd like to extend one leg or both. Or maybe you'd like to be in a seated position today. If you have a wall that is close to you, an alternative is legs up a wall pose, but definitely have your legs up against the wall. It's a nice relaxing and restorative pose. We'll spend a few minutes here. Inhale and exhale. As you're lying on the floor, do you feel the scapula drawn in towards your spine? Do you feel them resting, each one on the mat, along with your sacrum and your skull? As you breathe, you feel the rib cage expand up and out. I encourage you to see how you can feel the breath even all the way into your back ribs, whether you're seated, whether you're lying down. Your chance to absorb everything we've just done. We do quite a bit in the midst of one whole class. So let's start to come back. We can wiggle our toes and our fingers, just gently bringing some energy back. you're lying down, you can roll to your right side. You find your way up with ease from a fetal position. Come to seated. I don't know about you guys, but I always feel so much taller at the end of this flow, just because the scapula has such a key role in stability. But when it's in its, kind of rightful position, I'll call it that, you do feel a lot taller. You feel more refreshed, and I hope you feel energized for the rest of your day. It's a great flow just to get that spark of energy that you can take with you from the mat into everyday life. I thank you all for joining me this morning, and I hope you enjoyed your practice, had fun, got lit, got energized, and are ready to take on the day. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I hope everyone enjoyed it and had fun. If you have any feedback or things, that can, keep the class even better, keep growing, let me know. You can pop that in the chat. I'm always receptive to that feedback because these are your classes. They're all for you. It's why we do what we do as teachers and instructors. We do it for you. So any feedback you have, I encourage it. You can pop it in the chat, send an Insta message, email, whatever works for you. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll hit the record